en medio de la ciudad de Springfield, Massachusetts. Mr. Sarno.
There's a shortage, but even with that, Superintendent Larry Akers is making it happen. And having the walking patrols is extremely important. And I want to thank my colleagues on the City Council, Public Safety Chairman, Coach LeVar Click Bruce, my former assistant, Councilor Santinello, a veteran Councilor Santinello. So this is something he advocated for in campaign. Catering, Walsh, the same thing, and Jose Delgado, one of my former assistants too. So I'm very proud of those guys coming out of the office there. But I think the neighborhood's going to appreciate seeing it, the residents.
¿Cuál es la idea que ustedes van a estar haciendo en el área de Indian Orchard?
El superintendente va a tener policía, todos los días 2 policías caminando a pie en esta zona por la Main y por los vecindarios a pie todos los días.
Ok, ¿y eso va a ser todos los días o va a ser permanente siempre?
Yo no sé si va a ser permanente, pero por el verano y en el otoño usted va a ver policías caminando a pie en los vecindarios.
O sea, ¿de cuántos policías estamos hablando que van a
ser 2 policías a pie?
2 juntos.
Sí, es juntos. Hoy es la primera vez que lo están haciendo, porque ellos lo hacían antes, pero llevan años que no han hecho esto. Entonces el superintendente decidió hacer esto para esta comunidad, porque le hacía falta. Así que estos 2 oficiales que están parados aquí son los primeros 2 que van a estar caminando en este vecindario todos los días. No van a ser los mismos oficiales. El superintendente espera que va a tener los mismos oficiales todos los días, pero por ahora van a tener 2 oficiales caminando.
¿Van a hire más policías?
Sí, pensamos tener una academia de 50 policías en el otoño y eso se tarda como más o menos como 6 meses para que ellos se gradúen, entonces ellos van a la calle también.
Ok, eso es una excelente iniciativa.
Sí, espero que el superintendente dijo que él iba a hacer una unidad de C3 Policing en esta comunidad también, después que esos policías se gradúan.
Ok, excelente. ¿El nombre suyo?
Julio Toledo.
Julio Toledo. Capitán. Excelente, capitán.
Sí.
Julio Toledo, un orgullo para nosotros los latinos, así que
gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias a usted, caballero.
Regrets are sent from Ward 8 City Council Zeta Lovan. She is away, but she's very appreciative of this happening. So without further ado, let's put your hands together for our Police Superintendent Larry Akers and City Council to come up to speak.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank everyone that showed up here today, especially all my women and men who are supporting me in this effort. When I first took over this position, one of the things that I said that I was going to really focus on was community engagement. And this is just one of the pillars that I hope to start and bring the police department and our police department together to build those bridges of trust so we can get together once again and smile with each other, walk down the street with each other, talk to each other, and talk about any issues that the residents may have. I don't think that the police can really engage in community engagement inside the cruiser, being the slaves to the radio. So we're getting out here in the community. We want to talk to the people. We're going to be going to the businesses just to check to see how things are going. We want to talk to everyday citizens out here on the street. That's our goal. That's what we're going to accomplish. We're going to do that the best we can. The reason why I wanted to get it started in Indian Orchard is because we don't have C3 units out here yet. I do look to expand our C3 initiative to come out here to the orchard when our resources allow us to. I will do the best that I can whenever I can, and then we don't have to worry about people saying we don't have a C3 out in the orchard, because there's a lot of good people out here, and we want to make sure that they understand we care about the people here in the orchard just like we do in every other sector in this city. So I tasked Captain Toledo.
How about
who is
them Bears?
Right over here. Who is now he's the head. He's running my neighborhood. He's running my neighborhood stabilization bureau, and I tasked him at the beginning of the week to start having the C3 officers and the Metro unit officers get out of their cars and start making contact with our residents, and that's what he did. Yesterday, I also tasked our uniformed commanders to do the same. So the uniformed officers that are working these patrols in every sector in the city will be parking their cars, getting out, and walking whenever they can, because the city gets pretty busy sometimes. I'd just like to thank Officer Taylor Evans, or Evans Taylor, and Aguilar. They're going to be our first 2 overtime walking post people. And the good thing about that is they asked to do this. They want to be part of the community. They weren't told to be here. They wanted to do this. And I thank you for taking on this, and we appreciate it. And we're going to be out here doing whatever we can do to make the community safe, and to make the community, we just want to build that trust in the community once again. Now, we do have a lot of support out there. I don't want you to think that we don't. But for those who don't, the 20% that don't, that's what we're looking for. And that's why we're out here. On that note, thank you very much. I appreciate you all coming. And after we're all done here, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you.
Put your hands together. That championship coach too, for Chair of Public Health and Safety. Keep your eye out what he does at Duggan Academy there. City Council Chair of Public Safety, LeVar Click Bruce.
Thanks, Mayor.
Stiffen it up, man.
I really want to thank our mayor, obviously Superintendent Akers, and all the men and women in blue. We had our roundtable discussions as well. This is one of the topics we talked about, was having walking patrol and community policing, bringing that back. So I'm ecstatic for this, because when we were out in the community advocating for different things, all I hear is, bring back our police foot patrol. And again, I want to thank our administration with the mayor for listening to the city councilors and listening and to our constituents. He hears it on the daily, but again, he acts. So again, Superintendent Akers, thanks for your leadership, and we're willing to work together, because it truly takes all of us working together for the common good of our residents here in the city of Springfield. So I'm ecstatic. I'm going to advocate for my area. Obviously, Indian Orchard is a start. But let's get them out to 16 acres and those areas too. But Superintendent Akers, damn good job. I thank you for all you've done. And excuse my French, those that are watching, my kids, they're gonna say, "Dad, you curse." But we are ecstatic, and thank you again, Mayor Sarno. We truly appreciate this initiative, and I'm looking forward to our residents celebrating this initiative. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Coach. Just when you thought he was out, we drag him right back in. City Council Brian Santino served very, very well for many, many years, former Park Commission Chairman. His brother Vinny was a retired police officer too, and this is something when Brian campaigned advocating, let's get those walking patrols back. City Council Brian Santino.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I just want to thank my colleagues on the City Council, but I super want to thank the Mayor and Superintendent Akers. You don't know how much this means. Mayor Sarno knows that when walking patrols are out there, people build confidence in these walking patrols. They start sharing information with these walking patrols. That will reduce crime. So thank you, my colleagues. Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, Superintendent.
Thank you, Brian. And the veteran of the City Council, Catering Walsh.
Thank you very much. I want to thank you for the invitation to come here today to support this wonderful initiative. Whenever I'm invited to Indian Orchard, I make sure I get out here. But I think it's obvious from the turnout today that the City Council is behind the Superintendent, and that we're here to support all his initiatives. But following my colleagues, I think it's so important to have this community presence so that ordinary people can approach police officers without red tape. Everybody in the Orchard is going to feel better and safer, and I think that is going to make people be happy to live and stay in Springfield. So congratulations on this great effort. We're here for you.
Thank you, Katie, very much. And last but not least, and he's with EOPS with the state now too, the City Councilor Jose Delgado.
Well, this is fitting because I'm no stranger to Indian Orchard. I actually grew up just a few blocks from here, my high school years. So thank you for starting this in Indian Orchard. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to the Superintendent Larry Akers for continuing to push this. This was something that I also advocated for in terms of community policing. So to continue to see that going on is great. We want to see these community members be able to meet the police officers. Sometimes we feel that we don't know who our folks are, and so your presence on there is just going to do much more for that. I want to commend the officers for wanting to do this as well, because that shows the type of people that we're recruiting and hiring in the SPD. So congrats to you, and also shout out to Captain Toledo, because I know him for a lot of years, and he's somebody who's been working on the ground in the North NC3 unit, and he's going to do right by this. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Superintendent. Thank you to my colleague, Chair of Public Safety, LeVar Click Bruce, for your leadership on this. Thank you.
Thanks, Jose. Thank you all. Thank you. I don't know if you have any questions or comments from anyone, but especially Superintendent Akers. And if not, they'll start the walking patrol. So any questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My English is not perfect, but
That's okay.
I hope I met you before. I guess you remember my face. So I got a question. Yesterday, I got a property right on Orange Street. I just drive by, just come from the gym. But they have a lot of speeding right in Orange Street. And I think we can work in that situation on speeding, bump speeding, whatever. I think that's gonna be help a lot. And also, my house is right on Lion Street, and I think I've been here before with a meeting that you guys do every month. And they have a speeding right on Lion Street. That's where I live.
What street is that again?
Lions.
Lion Street.
Yes.
Lyons. Okay.
Yes.
Fine. So here's the things that we're doing, or Police Superintendent Akers is doing. We do have patrols out there, and we do also do educational type patrols with the speed boards. We try to give warnings out first to educate the people, and work with neighborhood councils. And then many times we get to the point where we have to issue citations and tickets. What we are facing, though, and I say this to repeat violent criminal offenders, a retired police superintendent, Cheryl Clapwood, I remember one time gave one out, somebody had blew through a stop sign. We're finding that 8 out of 10 of those citations, violations, are being dismissed by the courts, which just empowers and emboldens these drivers to say nothing's going to happen to me anyways. On the speed bumps, there is a process. Certain areas can entertain them. Busy streets are a little more difficult because of the liability aspects. But you said Lion Street, I'm sure with Superintendent Akers, the division can look into that, and on Orange Street too, they can look into that too. But they are out there doing educational and enforcement. Also, we have put in, through DPW Director Chris Signoli, all across the city, 20-something or more pedestrian crossing lights, the Hawker lights, and what pains me, and I was in Mason Square for the Caribbean Day Parade, I usually walk back to my car to the neighborhood to see the people. We have those crosswalks elevated, the Hawker lights, the buttons you press, and still some people just want to walk right across the street, and I tell them, use the crosswalk, press the light, the Hawker's lights come on. But even then, we cannot legislate behavior, no matter how hard they try. Even then, just because you put your foot in that crosswalk doesn't mean you're going to be safe, because we have irresponsible, distracted drivers on their phones, under the influence, that do that. So you always have to be looking out for that. But we can take a look at Orange Street and Lion Street, which is right around the corner on it. But that's what we do. But sometimes, many times, we need the backup of the courts that they have to send a message. But thank you. Any other questions or comments for Superintendent?
Superintendent, is this an increase in staffing, or is it just a redeployment of the officers?
No, it's not an increase. It's just something we want to just redirect. This post right here today is actually an overtime detail where we have to try to do something where we have to do it, so that's what we're going to do. Around the other parts of the city that do have C3 officers in it, we're just using those officers that we already have in those areas to do the walking posts. Just like the uniform squad, when they're not doing something and they're not on calls, they're going to be out. Mason Square, North End, Forest Park, 16 acres, everywhere we have walking posts going on right now. And most of those are either going to be Metro C3 units or just officers that are doing their job on a regular, and when they get downtime, they park that car, they get out, and they walk.
And folks across the city should be able to see this pretty soon.
They should be seeing that already because we're just starting the first overtime detail here today. But the walking posts actually started. I tasked Captain Toledo to start that at the beginning of the week, which he did. So they've already been out there walking. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Jeanette. Okay, no other questions? The superintendent will start that walking.
I'm going to have these officers get out and start walking.
One more question.
Any plans to expand this further in the city at all, or?
Well, when you say expanded in the city, it's already expanded in every area of the city. Like I said, this just happened to be the first overtime detail. We already have.
And we're hoping we're going to put in for another 50, funded for another 50. That takes time coming on the cabinet. He didn't want to wait. That was one of his initiatives, community engagement. He wanted to move on, and he's moving on it. And working with the city council, allocate overtime monies to do this. So it's really important. So I commend Superintendent Akers and our brave and dedicated men and women himself. And you got a great day today to start off that walk, and especially to the officers here too. Little things mean a lot. It makes a difference. Okay, he's going to get ready. Anybody else?
Am we able to grab you really briefly?
Why don't you grab him first?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, if you want to talk to me, because I'm going to get these officers walking, I'm going to walk with them.
All right.
So I'm going to walk with them for a little while. If you want to either walk with us, or I can just grab me now, whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah, just really quick. Thank you so much.
All right.
Nice to see you.
Okay,
good.
Bueno, la idea de ellos es visitar los negocios.
On a hard top. Temperamental car. Patrols are starting in our neighborhoods.
Okay.
So they're going to be stopping by to say hello, so make sure everything's
nice.
okay. So that's it.
Okay.
So everything's okay.
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 Okay. She's like, hold up. We're just doing an oil
As long
change?
as you're not broke into your business.
Not me.
Okay.
But how they been at night?
It was a night.
Okay.
So everything's fine, yeah. Police
Everything's
came to
okay.
care
We
with dealing with it
started
still, with
walking
insurance and
patrols.
stuff like that.